walking with Jesus. We weren't talking with our mouths, but telepathically. He showed me this menorah with 7 candles. He pointed out that we were living in the 5th candle at the time. He showed me that he would return on the 7th candle, the last one. He did show me a Bible verse, and it was Ezekiel 7:3.
Welcome to God's Voice Daily. I'm your host, Vladimir Proknevsky, and this is the channel where I share daily phone calls with people from around the world who've had real supernatural encounters with Jesus, angels, demons, and everything in between. Some of these calls go on to become full episodes on our main show called God's Voice Today, but here you will hear them raw and unfiltered, just the way they happened. So without any further ado, let's dive into today's featured call. Enjoy. Well, Estela, I was looking through your submission here, and it looks like God gave you a dream in 2020 during a crazy year, right? During COVID year.
Yes.
And he showed you some things. What did he show you?
Well, yes. That year, I can't recall the month now, but I went to sleep and I started dreaming. Well, they say that dreams happen before you wake. But anyway, in this dream, I can see myself walking with Jesus. And I think he only wanted me to see what he showed me. So we were walking in this place where it was like there was like a white mist, like cloudy mist on the ground everywhere. So I couldn't see much more than. So we were walking, and I can see some really tall white pillars. That's what I could remember. And all I can see when we were there was a menorah, which is the candle that the Jews use, that they have, right? And it was a really pretty big size menorah. And I was just standing there next to Jesus, and he was wearing his white robe, the way we all mainly when we speak of Jesus and the way he's dressed and the way he looks. That's the way he just looked in my dream. And he did have his like wavy hair up to his shoulder, like shoulder length. I couldn't really see his, the main focus wasn't on him, but was on what he wanted to show me. So he showed me this menorah with 7 candles, because I know that the Jews have another menorah with 9 candles, I believe. I really don't know. I never knew much about the menorah. I was born Catholic, and then I went to a Christian church with my dad growing up, and I baptized through the Christian church. And you know, I'm not a Jew here. So when I got this dream, God showed me the 7 candlestick menorah, and he pointed out that we were living in the 5th candle at the time. It was a 5th candle. And then he showed me, we have 2 more, he told me. It's so funny because we weren't talking with our mouths, but telepathically. Like, I've heard a lot of people say the same thing where, you know, you don't talk with your lips.
Yeah, it's spirit to spirit.
Talk.
When I had my face-to-face encounter with Jesus in a dream, it was I wouldn't say telepathy, it was more like spirit to spirit.
Yes, it is spirit to spirit. Of course, that's how you would say perfectly said. And he showed me that he would return on the 7th candle, the last one. So we were on the 5th at the time in the year 2020. And I saw that there was only 2 more candles left. He showed me there's 2 more left, and I will return on the 7th. I wish I would have asked more questions, but I didn't. You know, we're not in control of our dreams. But that's he showed me. So the whole time, sorry, I'm missing. Before waking up, he did show me a Bible verse, and it was Ezekiel 7:3. And so I searched. I woke up with that in my mind right away. I woke up and I told my husband, I'm like, oh my goodness, I had a dream of God gave me a really significant dream. I think this really means something. It felt like that in my spirit. You know when you have a dream from God because you don't forget it and it impacts
Right.
you. It's very different. You just know it. So I told my husband, can we read that Bible verse together because I want to know what it says.
You said it was Ezekiel 7:3, right? It says, "Now the end has come upon you, and I will send my anger against you. I will judge you according to your ways, and I will repay you for all your abominations." Wow.
Right.
It's a powerful
And
verse.
since that was pretty strong, and I was like, oh, so I kept reading. I read the whole chapter. I read the whole chapter 7, chapter Ezekiel 7. And it just pretty much talks about God's judgment on Israel and all the nations. And being during the pandemic, I was like, oh no, this is the start of this whole Ezekiel 7 taking place, you know? So I just felt like God was showing me what was coming in the future, right? He first showed it to me because that's how it is going to be in the end times. All this is going to take place at some point. So the thing I didn't know was the significant. God didn't tell me how many years each candle represented. All I knew when I went, I wanted to find out what the menorah was and what each candle meant. And each candle has a significance. When I looked it up, the first four, because it's 7, right? Yeah, the first 4 were already fulfilled, and the last 3 are still not fulfilled. And the last 3 that I was shown, was it 3, 5, 6, 7? Yes. So the 5th one is the Feast of Trumpets. The 6th candle represents the Feast of Atonement. And the 7th one, when he showed me he was coming back, was the Feast of Tabernacles. So after I had this dream, I was like, after he showed me, I was like, oh, he's going to come back in the Feast of Tabernacles. I always thought God would return, in the Feast of Trumpets, because that's when they announce the trumpets blows and they sound the coming of the Messiah. So I thought that after this dream, I was wondering if anyone else had dreams like I did, to see what they would say. And recently, you had a dream on your channel that this man started saying regarding 2026, which is next year, and saying that there wasn't going to be the soccer
World Cup. Yeah, he
World
was talking
Cup.
about, this is Joshua you're referring to. Yeah, he was
And
saying how
he said that God
September.
showed him. Yes, September. He said the Feast of Trumpets. So that caught my attention, being that he said that God showed him that he would come back in the Feast of Trumpets, and then he would return 7 years later in the Feast of Atonement. If I can recall, that's what he mentioned. That's what this man said and shared with you. But then that's why when you started talking about the menorah, I started getting goosebumps because I'm like, oh my goodness, that's what God showed me too. But God showed me he showed me that he was going to return on the 7th, right? So I was like, oh no, so I just, he shows us all different things. But I thought, okay, then what? Then I started analyzing my dream, and then I realized that perhaps I thought that's the millennium, when he's going to come after the 7 years of the one after the tribulation is over. That's when I thought the Feast of Tabernacles meant he's going to come here to tabernacle with us. That's how I saw it. That's the way I am interpreting it. So, I mean, that's what God showed me, and God only knows, but it's very intriguing how he said that he had this vision, and he said that God told him, and that he would return on those 2 days.
Estella, am I saying right? Estella? Cool name, by
yes,
the way.
Estella.
Beautiful
thank
name.
you. I was named after my grandmother. It's actually
cool.
Maria Estela. Maria Estela is my full name, but I go by Estella. There's too many Marias in the world.
Well, the way you say it, you definitely have some Spanish background, right?
Yes, of course. Yes, we're Spanish.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you said about the menorah. We're living the 5th candle. So the 5th candle was not fulfilled yet, right? According to the dream?
According to the dream, it has not been. Well, in 2020.
So
now
maybe
we're 5 years later. 5 years later now, I feel like we're probably not there anymore at the fifth. Well, who knows? If this is the year that God comes back, you know.
Right. Interesting.
It's going to be the Feast of Trumpets if it does occur. But you know what's so funny that I just heard another lady's dream, just to share really quickly. She said that she had a dream with she called it the 7 candlesticks, which I refer to as a menorah, but she said the 7 candlesticks that God showed her, the 7 candlesticks as well. But what she saw a year later after my year, I had my dream in 2020. She had hers in 2021. God also showed her 2 candles, the 7, full of fire. And she says that when the fire came down, there was only 1.5 left. So the one, if there's 2 left, I saw 2. He told me 2. So this lady saw one of those candles. Say I can picture the 6th candle, like the atonement one, halfway, which is the time we're in right now. Like there's only half of a candle left. In 2021, though. Now we're in 2025. So I feel like if God's if God will return after the 7-year tribulation, the second coming, on the 7th candle, that means we only have that half or less than half of the 6th candle. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Half, like less than half, because when she saw it was in 2021. I'm just trying to connect it to my dream and connect these other people's dreams to the one God revealed, give to me. And it's only been two dreams, and the third one actually, and that's all I've heard to this point, where this lady also had a dream of the rapture. She did mention the rapture, and it was a feast of tabernacles. The time that God showed me He would come back, the 7th one, she mentioned that it was a feast of tabernacles when the rapture had occurred. That's what she was shown. So I mean, it's what I found interesting that God was showing us a menorah. And after praying about this dream, I felt like God put it in my spirit that is the menorah is like a calendar. He's always used throughout time. Now, throughout time, since the menorah was made, created, and I believe the menorah was probably created around the time of Moses. I don't, because I'm going blank now, but so that is a calendar that has repeated itself over time because these feasts occur over every year. So since the time, since it was created, before He came into this earth, after He came into this earth and fulfilled what He did for us, and now the time that before he takes us up in the rapture. So, I'm amazed at how God has shown us, a few people, the menorah that I've seen, that I've heard about other people having these dreams as well.
Yeah, powerful dream. I mean, it's hard to make something like that up, especially when you get the verse Ezekiel 7:3. That's a
to
powerful
back
one.
it up.
Yeah, to back it up. And then menorah, you not having a Jewish background, not know much about the menorah. Powerful stuff. Well, Estella, thank you so much for calling in, sharing your testimony. We'll put it out there, and I'm sure it'll be a confirmation to some. Curious to see what people will say in the comments, but my goodness, sounds like we're close.
Timing. Yes, I feel like I know. It's sounds like we're close because I feel like a lot of people feel it in their spirit, and knowing what's happening right now in the world as well. You know.
Yeah,
we're living in it right now ourselves.
Joshua says it could be as soon as September. I don't know how I feel about that, but man, that'd be cool. I'm ready.
I know it's like, it's scary. It's a beautiful thing to think about, but at the same time, scary because it's going to change everything and horrible things will happen on the beautiful day as well. It's a lot to take in as humans when it's all supernatural for us, you know, we're not, when it has to do with supernatural things, it's hard on humans because we're human.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it,
of course,
tomorrow is not promised to anybody. So I think it's
of
always
course,
healthy to live with that kind of mindset, knowing that today could be your last day. I mean, all you're
that is
promised
very
is
true.
right now. Like, a minute ago
Exactly.
is gone. You can't take it back.
Yes,
Next minute is not promised. So all you have is
it's not.
now.
Right.
And when you live in that kind of awareness that all you have is right now, it gives you a different kind of urgency, right? Keeps
It
you on
does. It
a narrow
does.
path. But when you feel like you have forever, it's kind of like when you have a project without a deadline, you waste a lot of time. But when you have a clear target, you know that today is all you have is right now. You don't waste time. You're a
You
lot
don't
more
waste
intentional.
time. Correct. Right. You don't waste
Yeah.
time.
Well,
Well, it
speaking of
was,
time,
yeah, yes. I know,
speaking,
right? Our time, it runs
no,
by pretty
it's
quickly here.
perfect. No, appreciate you so much calling in. This was awesome. If you don't mind me
Thank
sharing this,
you.
I'd
Of
love to share
course.
this with everyone.
Of
And
course, that's fine. If God put it in my heart to share, it's for all of us. We need to share God's word and His timing, and He's sharing it and pouring out His Spirit, like He said and He promised.
that's right. Estella, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Talk
God
soon.
bless.
God bless. Bye-bye. Hey, if this story moved you, there is definitely more. Every day, someone new shares their supernatural encounter with Jesus. So hit subscribe right now and don't miss what's coming up next. And if you're ready for another powerful supernatural testimony, tap the next video on your screen right now, and I'll see you there.